Don't be afraid of the dark. Just relax and let the darkness fall over you.
Welcome to Afraidish, a podcast where we take a deep dive into the history and paranormal while enjoying some tasty adult beverages. From ghost sightings to hauntings, urban legends and cryptids, let's get weird and afraid-ish together. Hi, I'm Paul.
And I'm Ashley.
And welcome to bonus episode 4.
Whoop, whoop.
We'll recap Arkansas episodes and dive into some extra info.
Okay.
All right. So, in episode 13, I talked about the 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa.
Yes.
And we talked about our
personal experiences.
I'll talk about some hauntings there. There was a long list of hauntings on this one.
Yes, there were.
It is said that after the skeleton frame of the hotel had been constructed in the 1880s, one of the Irish stonemasons plunged to his death in what is now room 218.
Yes.
This room proves to be the most spiritually active in the hotel and has attracted television film crews for decades because of the quantity and quality of the ghost sightings reported.
Nice.
Throughout the history of the hotel, employees have referred to this entity as Michael, a classified poltergeist due to the nature of the unexplained activity.
Classified, eh?
Classified. Guests have witnessed hands coming out of the bathroom mirror.
What?
Cries of a falling man. Cries of a falling man in the ceiling. Yeah.
Okay.
And the door opening, then slamming shut, unable to be opened again. The intrigue of this activity had drawn guests to specifically request the historic accommodations of room 218 for the chance to experience something.
Yeah, no, you're not trapping me in no hotel room or hotel bathroom or...
Yeah.
No.
Many employees in the hotel's crystal dining room have encountered playful spirits in Victorian dress. One holiday season, while the dining room was closed, the grand Christmas tree and packages underneath moved from one end of the room to the other. The next morning, employees found the tree and packages moved with chairs circling and facing the newly placed holiday symbol.
Oh.
Another time, employees returned in the morning to find the dining room in perfect order except for menus scattered throughout the room. Yet another time, a waitress looked into the huge mirror between the doors from the dining room to the kitchen and saw a man and woman in Victorian garb facing each other as in a wedding.
Aww.
The groom turned and made eye contact with the waitress, and then the couple faded away. The waitress quit her position shortly after this incident.
Aww.
Another commonly reported paranormal activity is a man in Victorian clothing sitting at a table near the windows saying, "I saw the most beautiful woman here last night, and I am waiting for her to return."
Aww.
Many have recounted seeing apparitions in Victorian ball attire dancing around the room during the wee hours of the morning while the dining room was closed and dark.
It's interesting that people are only reporting Victorian
Right.
apparel because it was built in 1890s.
1880s.
1880s. Okay, so that's like 20 years of the Victorian era. Okay, so that makes more sense that because I was like, it's only a few years during the Victorian era. They should be seeing like Edwardian and 1920s.
Yeah.
But anyway, proceed.
I don't know. In the 1930s, the haunted hotel in Eureka Springs became an experimental cancer hospital. Dr. Norman Baker, claiming to be a licensed physician,
Yep.
examined cancer patients in the hotel's basement while charging unsuspecting families their life savings.
Yep.
Several apparitions from the hospital visit the hotel today. Dr. Baker has been seen in the hotel lobby. He is described as a man in a purple shirt and white linen suit matching photographs of the infamous entrepreneur.
Interesting. Purple shirt.
Yep.
Dude was bold and daring. Literally.
Yeah. A nurse pushing a gurney residing in Dr. Baker's old morgue area is known to squeak and rattle down the hotel halls. A hotel maintenance man witnessed all the washers and dryers mysteriously turn on in the middle of the night. The laundry room is located next to Dr. Baker's old morgue, which still contains his autopsy table and walk-in freezer.
Yes, the walk-in freezer, but the autopsy table's not there. The tour guide specifically said that what's in the room is not original.
Yeah, well, back when I did the tour, which was, well, obviously before we met, but it was there.
Like 2006?
Yeah.
The original autopsy table?
I don't know.
Because the one that is in the room it's the one that's up against the wall.
They changed it a lot from when I first went there.
Did they?
Yeah. There was a lot more to it.
Oh.
So.
Okay. But it's just interesting that they advertised that the original autopsy table is still in the room, and it's a counter with a sink.
Yeah. I don't know.
Am I misremembering?
Maybe that's what they mean. I don't know.
Well, the tour guide specifically said this is not original.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I wonder, I don't know, maybe they have the original autopsy table in storage somewhere?
That's possible.
Who knows? And maybe I'm just misremembering, because we know my memory hasn't been great lately.
That's fine. No, I mean, there was no autopsy table. So
okay.
I don't know. That's what the research says.
Right.
Now,
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just...
I know, I get it. Yeah. Now let's meet Theodora. Records are confusing regarding whether Theodora was a cancer patient or a hospital worker. It has been speculated that she was a nurse who became stricken with cancer while employed at the hospital and became a patient until she died.
Huh.
Room 419 is Theodora's room. She died in the room. This room is the second most requested room at the hotel by guests. Note, room 218, Michael's room, is the most requested.
Okay.
There are two different stories about who Theodora was when she was alive. Some think she was the hospital worker when the building was Baker's cancer hospital. While it remains a mystery, some witnesses who have spoken to the spirit of Theodora have said that she introduced herself as a cancer patient.
No.
When she is seen as an older woman fumbling for her keys outside of what was her room 419. She is also reputed to have an aversion to untidy spaces and is known for organizing things in this room if she feels it is in disarray.
She was an employee.
Right.
But she was very close with Dr. Baker. That's why it's the penthouse.
Yeah.
There's the two penthouses. She's one penthouse, and Dr. Baker's was the other.
Yeah.
I think she was an employee. She wasn't a nurse. Or if she was a nurse, she was like the head nurse or something. I feel like the tour guide talked about this. Like, she was someone important to Dr. Baker.
Oh, I don't know. Probably a head nurse, maybe.
Or something, I don't know. But again, maybe I'm misremembering.
I don't know. If you leave your belongings scattered, you may return with them neatly placed. Guests have reported jewelry being moved, sometimes going from on top of the desk into the drawer. Both men and women have also reported being lightly touched while lying in bed sleeping.
No.
This lends itself to the theory that she was likely a nurse. Although Theodora is said to be a kind spirit and welcoming energy, in one story a couple unpacked their things, then went downstairs to meet friends. When they returned, their suitcases were packed and sitting by the door.
Yeah, but they were fighting.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Oh. Sorry.
It was later determined that Theodora did not wish for them to stay in the room as they argued while unpacking their things. They took the hint and decided to stay elsewhere. Steve Garrison, a cook at the hotel, swears he doesn't drink on the job. He doesn't drink, period. However, Garrison may have been tempted by two strange encounters in the in the haunted hotel's crystal dining room kitchen.
Hmm.
One morning, while slicing and dicing vegetables, he looked up and saw a little boy with pop bottle glasses, dressed in old-fashioned clothing and knickers, skipping around the kitchen. Another morning, Garrison flipped on the lights to begin the day's preparations when some or all of the pots and pans came flying off their hooks.
Ugh.
The Crescent Hotel has so many ghostly tales to tell that tours of this historic place in the Ozarks are held throughout the year. The 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa offers exciting ghost tours that have often produced some very spectacular tales. The guides also have countless paranormal stories from their time at the hotel. One such guide revealed that she had met a couple that was staying on the first floor near the governor's suite. The couple subsequently told the guide that on their second night in the building, they had slept with just a sheet covering the two of them. The husband then awoke in a deeply sweat, realizing that someone or something had tucked them in with a comforter.
Ew.
They had been tucked in on 3 more times that night.
Okay. That is why I start the night tucked in. What kind of sociopath sleeps with just a sheet?
Well, when it's summertime and it gets hot.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Never mind.
Anyways.
I'm
And
a
another
pampered
guide,
air conditioner princess.
and another guide recounted an incident where 2 guests checked into room 221 one early spring afternoon. Upon leaving the elevator for the second floor, they immediately encountered a man wearing an all-black Victorian-style outfit. With a smile, he asked the guests whether or not they required help finding their guest room. Believing the person to be a hotel employee, they agreed. The man in the Victorian attire led the two to room 221, unlocking the door and pushing it open. As the couple entered, the man stayed outside the door, smiling and tilted his head from one side to the other. One of the two realized they had not tipped the man, and when they spun around with some cash, he had seemingly disappeared.
Or maybe he just left because they didn't tip?
Maybe. Perplexed, the 2 guests just relaxed in their guest rooms for the rest of the day. When they tried to re-enter room 221 later that evening, the door would not budge. The couple then descended to the front desk asking what was wrong with the key. The staff members said they had somehow received a key to room 321. The 2 described the man who had originally let them into 221, and the staff member reported that no such person presently worked at the hotel.
Okay, but they would have been given their key at the front desk downstairs.
Yeah.
Got on the elevator, got off the elevator, saw a Victorian man.
Right.
So he didn't give them the key, though.
I know.
If that's what the story's implying.
I don't understand that one. They would have had the key.
Yeah.
Somehow he had a key and opened that door.
Yeah, but then they tried their key and it didn't work because it was the key to the wrong room.
Right.
It is interesting that a ghost allegedly opened their door for them, even though they had the wrong key.
Yeah. Who knows?
Weird. I don't know. You know?
Yep.
I wasn't there. I didn't experience it.
Brecky, a 4-year-old of Richard and Mary Breckenridge Thompson, died in the hotel due to complications from appendicitis. He has been seen throughout the hotel, often bouncing a ball. Dr. John Fremont Ellis, the hotel's in-house doctor circa the late 19th century, is most often seen or his cherry pipe tobacco is smelled near his office, which is now room 212.
Huh.
Morris, the famed hotel cat, was known as the hotel general manager for 21 years and later buried on the hotel property and is regularly seen and heard.
Yes. I have clients who went and stayed down at the Crescent Hotel and audibly heard a cat meow while they were in their room getting ready to go to dinner that night.
Yeah, I mean, they have a cat, but it stays in the lobby.
No, it was in the room.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
like
is
they
weird.
were like walking around the hotel.
Right.
They were in their room, like getting ready. They thought because they were in an L-shaped room, and 2 were on like one end of the L, and the other was around the corner.
Right.
The 2 thought that the 1 meowed, and the 1 thought that someone of the 2 meowed.
That's crazy.
And they were both like we're grown adult women. Like, why would we be meowing? And like the general consensus was they both thought like maybe you just were feeling yourself or something.
Nice.
But no, nobody meowed in the hotel room.
Yeah. A recurring phenomenon happens in a spot on the 3rd floor where the hotel connects to an annex, which we stayed at, built on the hotel when it was a hospital. The area has been said to be a portal to the other side. Multiple guests have grown faint, with a few passing out briefly at the same stop on the nightly ghost tour without reasonable explanation. The occurrences go in spurts. Many happen over several weeks or months, and then none for some time. Guests suddenly turn pale, falling against and then sliding down the wall in a faint. Although the loss of consciousness does not last very long and complete recovery is immediate, it further substantiates the hotel's legendary supernatural connection to the paranormal.
Are you okay?
I can't talk tonight. I didn't drink enough yet.
Well, then have a sip.
Oh, and I'm drinking basically a homemade margarita.
Yeah, Jose Cuervo margarita
The
mix.
last of our tequila.
Yeah. And I'm drinking 7-Up Zero with strawberry lemonade vodka from Sam's Club.
Nice.
It's very tasty. I like this vodka a lot.
All right. There has been quite an uptick in activity in the morgue. I think we have stirred things up a bit with the discovery of the remains, says Deborah the Duchess, manager of the nightly ghost tours. Referring to the 2019 uncovering of a secret bottle grave of the Crescent's most infamous resident owner, Norman Baker.
Yes.
A certified archaeologist dig found hundreds of bottles of Baker's secret formula and jars containing medical specimens that had been surgically removed from patients.
I just have to imagine that this was dumped down the ravine in a panic. Like, after his arrest or something.
Yeah. And I don't have this in my notes, but when we did the ghost tour, the tour guide said that it was the head gardener. She was like digging for,
gardening reasons.
For gardening reasons. And she came upon that, which is really cool. To be the person that actually found.
Yeah. That's gotta be like such a like I don't know, thrill.
Yeah.
But like I'm picturing like the hospital staff like panicking, like we gotta get rid of this evidence.
Yeah.
And just like dumping it out the windows down the hill.
Or Baker had people bury it.
Was it?
It was buried.
Yes, but things get buried naturally over time.
It was meant to be buried and hidden.
Okay, so whoever disposed of it buried it.
Yeah.
Which, again, you would do, like, quickly, like, we gotta dig a hole, get this shit in the ground, let's get rid of the evidence.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a dark figure has been seen recently in the morgue, and there has been an increase in cold spots and reports of people being touched ever since they found those jars.
He didn't say anything about a dark figure.
I don't know. He's
our tour guide.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Or at least I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
I was kind of...
This is coming from the head ghost tour manager. So who knows?
Right. I mean...
All right. In episode 14, I discussed the 1905 Basement Park Hotel and Spa and Hornybrook Mansion, a.k.a. Empress of Little Rock.
Yeah.
Which the 1905 Basement Park Hotel is the sister hotel to the Crescent Hotel.
Yes, it is. We've also stayed there.
Yes. and owned by the same people.
Yes.
The husband passed away, and the current owner, she has the
penthouse.
The penthouse and the crescent.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
She's in Norman's penthouse.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this woman, this ghost of this woman, wouldn't be trying to get into a penthouse. Like, she was an important person.
Yeah.
She wasn't, like, just some nurse or some random cancer patient.
Well, was it really a penthouse back then? Or?
Yes. I believe it was, I don't know, I can't recall the exact story. The tour guide talked about it. She was either, like, his housekeeper or, like, his head nurse. Like, she was somebody important to him personally and, like, professionally. Which is why she had the second best digs in the suite, in the place.
I don't think I was paying attention at that part. All right.
Sorry, I totally... You're talking about the Basin Park, and I'm going to go right back to it.
I'll talk about the hauntings of the Basin now. Here's a ghost story a couple experienced while staying there. As the sun set over the Basin Park Hotel, the guests settled into their rooms for the night. One couple had just checked in and were excited to explore the historic building. Walking down the dimly lit hallway, they heard a faint giggle and looked around but saw no one. Suddenly, they saw a little girl in a yellow dress with pigtails skipping down the hall. They chased after her, but she disappeared into thin air. Later that night, as they were getting ready for bed, they noticed strange orbs of light floating around the room.
With their eyes?
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay.
They brushed it off as a trick of the light and went to sleep. But as they drifted off, they heard faint whispers, and the temperature dropped suddenly. They woke up to find their clothes thrown around the room and the little girl standing at the foot of the bed.
Oh, no.
Her dark blue eyes staring straight at them. The couple fled the hotel in the middle of the night, convinced they had come face to face with a ghostly apparition. The memory of the little girl in the yellow dress had stayed with them.
No,
that would be so creepy.
No. Absolutely not.
All right. I'm sure there's more, but that was just an experience.
A personal experience of people that stayed at the hotel. Okay.
All right, now we'll get into the Hornibrook Mansion. I turned this into a ghost story based on the Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. As I entered the Hornibrook Mansion, a chill ran down my spine. The historic home had been around for over 130 years and had welcomed countless guests. However, some believed that the ghosts of its past residents still lingered within the walls. I couldn't help but feel uneasy as I walked down the dimly lit hallway. Suddenly, I saw a well-dressed man standing in front of me. He stared at me with hollow eyes before disappearing into thin air. I tried to shake it off, thinking it was just my imagination, but then I heard the sound of phantom footsteps behind me. I quickened my pace and found myself in the poker room. As I looked around, I saw playing cards scattered on the floor. It was as if someone had just finished a game and left in a hurry. I couldn't help but wonder who or what had caused this eerie scene. As I continued exploring the bed and breakfast, I heard whispers and voices coming from the walls. It was as if the home was alive with the ghosts of its past. Suddenly, I saw the ghostly figure of an African-American maid. She looked at me with a sad expression before disappearing into thin air. The home was believed to be haunted by the ghost of Judge Isaac Parker, who had sentenced 160 people to hanging executions.
Dang.
His presence was felt throughout the house, and I couldn't shake the feeling that he was still seeking justice from beyond the grave. As I made my way upstairs, I saw an old sea captain standing at the top of the staircase. He looked at me with a stern expression before disappearing into thin air. It was then that I realized that the ghosts of the Empress were not just a myth. They were real, and they were watching my every move. The owners of the bed and breakfast, Sharon and Robert Blair, had experienced the strange happenings too. They had seen a period-dressed gentleman on the staircase and had heard phantom voices and footsteps. During the home's restoration, a painter had even found himself locked in an upstairs poker room.
No.
The door had been wide open when he finally managed to escape, even though the handle and lock had not yet been installed. As I left the Empress, I couldn't help but feel grateful for the experience. It was a ghostly adventure that I would never forget. If you ever find yourself at the Empress bed and breakfast, keep your wits about you. You never know what ghostly secrets might be lurking in the shadows.
Neat.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody liked that story.
Yeah.
I like making stuff into ghost stories. It sounds a little bit better. I mean, it's based on the actual, well, what people see and feel. So
right.
It's pretty cool. Lost my place. All right. In episode 15, I talked about the Toltec Mounds Archaeological State Park in Scott, Arkansas. Locals sometimes refer to the complex as the Stonehenge of Arkansas. Since the complex was widely believed to be used as a ceremonial site, it naturally has a reputation for haunted ghost stories. The biggest mystery of the complex is the sudden disappearance of the Plum Bayou culture around 1050 CE. It remains a mystery why they abandoned the site and where they went. Experts don't know if there were any Plum Bayou culture Native American descendants, and they can't explain why the unique traits of this culture simply ceased to exist. The captivating mystery of the entire culture's disappearance automatically creates a haunting aura around the Toltec Mound site. Tourists and visitors see lights and orbs off in the woods close to the site. Some visitors report feeling like someone was watching them as they walk the trails in the park. Homeowners that live near the park report seeing ghostly apparitions of ancient people or mist-like manifestations on the park grounds. The same neighbors also report hearing loud footsteps on the park grounds at night. It's crazy.
Like, how close do these people live to the park? Or are they at the park at night?
I don't know. I mean,
that they're hearing loud footsteps. Like, what is that? Like,
mean,
are they in their house, like, half a mile away, and they're hearing, like, donk, 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 donk?
No, their house is pretty close by.
Okay.
There's that one house literally in the middle of the park. I don't know if that's a residential house or if that's...
You're very confused. That was at, where we went.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Yep.
Oh, my God. What is the name of that? Oh, my God.
Never mind.
I talk about it all the time.
Yeah, anyway.
We went there. It's outside of St. Louis.
That's
Cahokia.
That's Cahokia.
Cahokia Mounds.
I'm dumb. Well, I've never been to Toltec. So.
No, we have not been to Toltec.
Anyways, I'm sure there's probably houses around. Yep.
Sure. Okay, but yeah, I don't. Okay.
I mean, if there are neighborhoods like
that butt up against the perimeter of the park.
I mean, I could see that.
Like if it's in, I don't know. I guess for the most part, and Cahokia kind of disproves this. But whenever I think of like state parks or like World Heritage sites, like Toltec Mounds, Snake Mound in Ohio or whatever, I picture them being like kind of out in the middle of the nowhere, like in the middle of Hahatonka State Forest. I don't picture it being in like a suburban neighborhood, which is what Cahokia is.
Well, that's people build around places like that.
Yes.
I mean,
yes, but I don't know. Like, it's just that's like a predisposed like.
It's like if you see
fallacy in my head.
It's like when you see pictures of the pyramids in Egypt.
Yeah.
If you do like take the picture back a little bit, you'll see like it's like all houses and it's insane.
It's in the middle of a suburb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because people build around them.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Okay, so they are like their yards probably do like butt up to at least the perimeter of the park.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That's just my personal biases, you know? That's fine.
Strange chanting has been heard coming from the mounds. The Spirit Seekers, Inc., a paranormal group, conducted at least one investigation at the Toltec Mound site. According to some compelling EVPs caught by the group, spiritual activity is high. Museum staff have reported seeing a little girl running and laughing in the museum. So that's that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that it?
For that one.
Oh, for that one. Okay, you're just like staring at me.
I don't know. Then I talked about the natural steps and its urban legends.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. For some reason, you said the natural steps, and I'm picturing like some like old lady workout or something.
Anyways.
No, yes, the stone staircase.
Here's another ghost story for you.
Okay.
As the sun began to set over the natural steps, a group of friends decided to explore the area. They had heard the stories of the phantom soldiers and the woman in the white, but they didn't believe in ghosts. As they climbed the steps, they felt a chill in the air and a sense of unease. Suddenly, they heard the sound of marching feet and turned to see a line of soldiers in Confederate uniforms. The friends froze in fear as the soldiers marched past them and disappeared into the night. As they looked around, they noticed a figure in white standing at the top of the steps. It was the woman in white, and she was staring right at them. They ran as fast as they could, but could feel her cold breath on their necks. From that day on, they never doubted the existence of ghosts at the natural steps.
Does the woman in white usually chase people?
Probably. There's
the blue lady, the white lady, like they typically tend to just like float aimlessly.
Yeah.
Because women are like supposed to be like sad, morose creatures who just like pine after men and babies or something.
Yeah, maybe she was protecting something. I don't know.
What was does she not have a story tied to it? Like, was she like not a bride that died on her wedding day, or?
I mean, the stories in the episode,
right?
The Confederate soldiers, that's a residual haunting because they hid gold or something. I can't remember, but the whole story. But if you go back and listen, the whole story is.
A lot of times when you see like groups of soldiers and like platoons and stuff en masse, that's tends to be residual energy.
Right. Then I told a listener story about a demonic possession or what I think was possible mental health issues.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell that story again. So.
Okay.
In episode 16, I talked about a couple of cryptids.
Oh, yes.
And we still haven't watched the Falk Monster, the
Boggy Creek?
The Boggy Creek. What the fuck do you call it? From the guy that made Momo. Documentary.
Oh, I was like, what are you? the Lyle Blackburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still haven't watched that.
No, but wasn't there another one that you were talking about too? Or was that? It was that. Oh, okay. Because you just brought that up the other day.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I was wanting to watch it, but we had to pay for it, and I didn't feel like paying for a shitty documentary from that guy.
How much was it? Like $5?
Like $3, I think.
It's entertaining. You're paying for the experience, man.
Maybe we'll make a video watching it, and obviously we can't face the camera to the TV, but we can...
No, yeah, we can...
film ourselves watching it with our reactions.
Yeah.
So, maybe we'll get extra content for that.
Maybe, we'll see.
The first was about the White River Monster, and the other was the Falk Monster, aka the Boggy Creek Monster. If you want to hear about those, just go back to that episode. And that's it for the recaps.
All right.
Here are more fun facts about the natural state.
All right.
Number 1. In 1541, Hernando de Soto, a Spanish conquistador and explorer, led an expedition into what is now the state of Arkansas. Unfortunately, Hernando became ill and passed away in a region that was likely present-day MacArthur, Mississippi at that time.
Huh?
Despite his death, his troops continued their journey southward until they reached Texas, where they ran out of food.
Oh.
They then returned to Arkansas, where they constructed a fleet of boats in preparation for their journey down the Mississippi River toward Mexico.
Okay.
Number 2. Before Arkansas became a state, it became a separate territory in 1819. Arkansas was part of the Louisiana Purchase between the United States and France. In June of 1836, Arkansas officially became a state, joining the United States as its 25th state. The state has a rich history, including its role in the Civil War, and is known for its beautiful natural landscapes, such as the Ozark Mountains and the Mississippi River.
Yes.
Number 3. It's interesting to note that Arkansas has had several unofficial nicknames over the years before it became known as the natural state.
Oh, yeah?
Some of these nicknames include the Bear State, the Toothpick State, and Rackensack. However,
the Toothpick State?
Yeah. Because that's where I think toothpicks...
Toothpicks were invented there?
I don't know.
Or made?
Made, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
However, it wasn't until 1923 that Arkansas was given an official nickname, which was the Wonder State.
Oh.
This changed 30 years later in 1953, when the Wonder State became the land of opportunity. Even though the natural state was already being used in the 1980s, it wasn't until the 1990s that it became the official nickname of Arkansas.
Oh.
Technically, 1995, it became the official nickname.
Wow.
So, number 4, the state musical instrument of Arkansas is the fiddle.
The fiddle.
The instrument was very important in education and entertainment in Arkansas. On February 28th, 1985, the fiddle became the official state musical instrument.
Fascinating.
Number 5, Mount Magazine is the highest point in the state, standing tall at 2,753 feet. This stunning peak is located in the Arkansas River Valley, providing visitors with stunning views of the surrounding landscape.
Wow, I bet.
Number 6, interestingly, the apple blossom holds a unique honor as both the official state flower of Arkansas and Michigan.
Yes.
This stunning flower symbolizes optimism and potential and is undoubtedly highly regarded in both states. One cannot help but be captivated by the intricate pink and white petals when viewing them up close or the sight of them blooming in a meadow.
Yeah, that means we need to get some apple trees, sir.
Yeah.
We need at least 2.
Yeah.
For pollination.
Yeah. Number 7. Since 1929, the state bird of Arkansas has been the mockingbird, a bird known for its exceptional ability to mimic the songs of other birds.
They're going to ban that.
Interestingly, this bird is also the state bird of Texas, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Florida. Its unique and beautiful song has made it a beloved symbol of the South and the United States as a whole.
Yeah.
Number 8, Arkansas designated the honeybee as its state insect in 1973 by Act 49 of the State General Assembly. This choice was made because the honeybee is a diligent worker and embodies the values of people of Arkansas. The honeybee plays an important role in crop pollination through meticulous attention to detail.
Yeah.
Number 9, Arkansas has designated the pine tree as its state tree since 1939, as approved by the General Assembly. Within the state, one can find 4 distinct types of pine trees: shortleaf pine, loblolly pine, longleaf pine, and slash pine.
Yeah.
And number 10, it is unlawful for any person while near at the premises of a drive-in restaurant to suddenly start or stop any vehicle or to make any other loud or unseemly noise.
Specifically drive-through restaurants?
Yes.
So no honking in Wendy's parking lot?
Exactly. It's ridiculous. Wife beating is allowed, but only once a month.
How often is husband beating allowed?
Never. Because of patriarchy, goddammit.
I would like to speak to the manager of Arkansas. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, ma'am.
Ma'am.
I would like to speak to you, please.
One of the worst governors there is right now.
Oh my god. It's like they're in a competition for who can be the most horrendous.
Let's see. Florida, Texas, and Arkansas.
No. What is it? Kristi Noem, what is she? North Dakota or what the fuck ever?
Yeah.
She's like on top of the list of the See You Next Tuesdays.
There's a few, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Yeah.
It is illegal for any person to attract the attention of any person of the opposite sex while traveling along the sidewalk, streets, or public ways of the city of Little Rock by staring at, winking at, coughing at, or whistling at such person with the intent or in any way calculated to annoy or attempt to flirt with any such person.
No catcalling. I like that. I like that. That's very progressive, Arkansas. Yeah. Watch them repeal it.
This law was put forward by the city officials to curb prostitution in the city.
Okay, so not to like help lower sexual assault rates, just to lower people making money off of it. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. These crazy laws.
When you only have one type of person making the laws, they're going to make laws that only make sense to their brains.
Yeah. All right.
Am I being pragmatic enough?
No, I don't know. All right. Here are a few people from Arkansas. I'm sure there are more historic figures, but I didn't have time to find any that weren't problematic or Confederate heroes, which I didn't want to get into.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are people that were born in other places that lived in Arkansas that did great things, but I wanted to focus on people that were actually born in Arkansas.
Okay.
Like it did the other states.
Okay.
The first one, number 1, Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh!
Born in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Oh!
On August 4th, 1955.
What cool beans?
Yeah, he is an American actor, director, writer, and musician. Best known for directing, writing, and starring in the 1996 drama film Sling Blade, which I love that movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Really?
I was 6 years old when it came out.
I was a lot older than that. Fun fact, he suffers from OCD and has a phobia of antique furniture, especially French antiques. Also, he can easily differentiate between an original antique and a fake.
I would love to go antiquing with him, but he would hate it.
He would hate it.
So, that's a complicated relationship. I could misery him into being my antiquing partner.
Right.
Just minus the ankle breaking. Because you gotta walk around an antique store.
I didn't put this in there. He's been married 6 times, divorced 5 times.
Yeah, he's married Angelina Jolie.
Yep, at one point. Yep.
Yes, they have vows of blood that they wore around their necks.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yep.
The 90s.
Yeah. Number 2, Johnny Cash. Born in Kingsland, Arkansas on February 26, 1932. Died on September 12, 2003.
Yep.
Can't believe it was that long since he passed away.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the most prominent American singer-songwriters of the 20th century. Although he was known for his country music, his large gamut of work went to the influence genres like rock and roll, blues, folk, gospel, and rockabilly.
Mm-hmm. I would consider him like country rock.
Yeah. It's like rockabilly.
Like, no. Rockabilly is like Elvis.
Oh,
like
okay.
early Elvis days.
Okay.
Early days Elvis.
Fun fact, in 1965, this famous American singer-songwriter burnt 508 acres of the Los Los Padres National Forest in California, after his truck caught fire, he became the only person ever prosecuted by the government for beginning a forest fire. That's crazy. All right. Number 3, which is my last one. Samuel Lee Kuntz, Kuntz, K-O-U-N-T-Z. Kuntz was born on August 20th, 1930, in Lexa, Arkansas. He was raised in the town of Lexa, one of the most impoverished areas of Arkansas. Without a doctor in the town, Kuntz's father often assumed the role of nurse, and his mother was a midwife. Oh. Their work sparked Kuntz's desire to become a physician. Kuntz worked his way through high school despite scarce educational resources. He then attended Arkansas Agricultural, Mechanical, and Normal College, now the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and graduated with a BS in 1952.
The word normal was in the name of the college's official name.
Yeah, it was Agricultural, Mechanical, and Normal College. Yes.
It's just interesting looking at it through like today's lens, like normal college, right. And then like agricultural and mechanical, normal.
Yeah. He received an MS in biochemistry from the University of Arkansas, and then became the first African American admitted into the medical school there, from which he graduated in 1958. The same year, he married Grace Aiken. The couple had 3 children. Oh. During his Stanford University School of Medicine residency, Kuntz focused on surgery, becoming particularly interested in kidney transplants.
Oh.
Up until 1960, such transplants were impossible unless the donor and recipient were twins.
Oh.
Which is crazy. Transplants between those more distantly related or unrelated ended in rejection by the transplant recipient.
Oh.
In 1961, Kuntz and Roy Cohn, another leading surgeon, performed the first successful kidney transplant between 2 people who were close relatives but not twins.
Wow.
Over the next decade, Kuntz researched the process of kidney transplants in dogs. He discovered that monitoring blood flow in the new kidney and administering methylprednisolone to the patient after surgery allowed the body to accept the new organ.
Interesting.
In 1966, Kuntz joined the faculty at Stanford University Hospital and Medical School, and in 1967 he became the chief of the kidney transplant service at the University of California at San Francisco, UCSF.
So I just want to clarify and amplify. A black man is credited with the first successful kidney transplant between non-identical twin siblings.
Back in the early 60s.
That is amazing.
Yes, it is. That's why I'm highlighting him. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for highlighting that.
You're welcome. I'm trying to do African American people, if I can, Native Americans. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
I think more people just need to know that information.
Yeah. It's like when I highlighted the first trans woman. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There he worked with Volker Belzer to create the Belzer kidney perfusion machine. This innovation kept kidneys alive for 50 hours after being removed from the donor.
Wow.
Kuntz's involvement at UCSF made the institution's kidney transplant research center among the country's best.
Wow.
Kuntz also created the Center for Human Values at UCSF to discuss ethical issues concerning transplants.
He would have been canceled in 2023.
Yeah.
How dare you talk about ethics in organ transplanting?
Oh.
impression.
People suck.
I'm being hyperbolic, but only barely.
The State University of New York Downstate Medical Center in Brooklyn recruited Kuntz in 1972 to become the professor and chair of the Department of Surgery. He accepted, saying he wanted to improve medical care for African Americans in urban areas like Brooklyn.
Aww.
Kuntz's pioneering work has made kidney transplants fairly routine today. He won numerous awards and was elected president of the Society of University Surgeons in 1974.
Yeah.
Kuntz also traveled the world to share his expertise. Unfortunately, in 1977, he contracted an unknown disease while in South Africa, which caused serious brain damage. Samuel Kuntz died on December 23, 1981, at his home in Kings Point, New York. He was 51 at the time. Only 51, that's it.
Wow, so young.
So, that's it. So, yeah. Hopefully this episode wasn't too crazy.
No.
I didn't have enough liquor in me.
You did not.
Be relaxed. So.
Yeah, you did not.
Last night I pre-gamed and was very relaxed, and we didn't end up recording.
Whose fault was that?
Mine.
Yeah, you can't blame me. This time.
All right, it's...
Well, also you could kind of blame me because not only were you not done researching, but I did have a headache.
It's
and
true.
I was pretty miserable last night.
And we don't like being miserable while recording.
No.
So. All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
If you have any stories or requests of anything you want to hear about or know anyone who does, please email us at afraidishpodcast@gmail.com, Instagram and Facebook at afraidishpodcast. The website is still down, blah, blah, blah. All links will be in the show notes. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and basically almost everywhere you can listen to podcasts. Also, rate and review on Apple Podcasts and rate on Spotify. 5 stars, please.
Please.
And as always, don't be afraid of the dark.
Be afraid-ish of what's in it.
Bye.
Okay, bye.